All right, check. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How are y'all doing? Good to see you all. Sorry for the late start. I have a lot going on in the morning, so there's that. I have a very, very kind of crazy schedule when I'm up at 5. I'm doing various things, among which homeschooling my kid is one of them. And just, if something gets off track, it's a very tight schedule. If something gets off track, then everything gets off track. And so here I am. But thanks, guys. Y'all don't get here till 9:20 anyways. Shoot. Are you in Chicago, Extra Bullet? Did you move or are you there visiting? You're so stupid your kids homeschool you. Or is that where you live? Or am I just confused? I thought you were in New York. Are we keeping this all under? You moved to Chicago in January. Shoot. How do you like it? That's a hell of a time to live in. Move to Chicago in January, but I guess it's not winter anymore. So there's no winter anymore. So maybe it doesn't matter. Last time I was in Chicago, it was 5 degrees outside. Anyways, good to see you all. Yeah, it was 72 yesterday. Jesus. Yes. So yesterday, a lot of the wild weather coming at you. We're supposed to be getting like a big snowstorm in Northern California. This weekend. I think it's supposed to come in on Friday. So it was 72 yesterday. It's 23 now. Yeah. Sounds about right. But 72 degrees in January in Chicago? No. Not unheard of. There are some places where people are like, oh, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. It'll change, right? Some places are like that. But like 72 degrees in Chicago in January is not supposed to be happening. Or in Maine or in New Hampshire or Michigan even. Right? Did you see this? For the first time in recorded history, we've reached 80 degrees in Omaha during the month of February. As of 3 p.m., the current temp is 80 degrees, which is all-time warmest temperature on record for the month. So clearly, there's no global warming, or clearly they're cherry picking these temperatures. Clearly, no, it's the first time on record. When you moved there was -4. Yeah, jeez. You bit nippy, huh? I know what you meant. I bit nippy before. No, okay, all right. I'm gonna not get into that one. But what's up? What's up? We're live on Rockfin, YouTube, Callin, and on Twitter. Hello, Callin people. I really am not trying to start the show later and later every day. But I also am trying not to change the time of the show. Too much, right? I don't want to keep changing the time on you guys. So sticking with 9 for now. I kind of like 9. I kind of like it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. There's lots of dings and ding wings and wing dings and well, yeah. Whoa. Can y'all hear me still? Shoot. Shoot. All right. It's all good. It's all good, fool. Any other warm temperatures, y'all? Scott Andrews. He'll be back to close to 70s this weekend for you in Chicago. This year, time of year, severe weather is supposed to be in the south, not Illinois and Indiana. Yeah. 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 All right. Too many bells and whistles. Too many bells and whistles. Anyways. And there's fires going on. I'm assuming because of the warm weather and the fact that a lot of places are in drought. Somebody's lighting these fires on fire. Somebody's making these fires happen. Well, what's up? I see Timothy on Callin. What's up? How you doing? So, there's a lot of bells going off. Lots and lots. Anyways, well, yeah, sure. Somebody might be lighting these fires, or it could be just unseasonably warm, and things are dry. There's droughts, and things like that are happening. There's a wild there. So somebody was telling me about this yesterday. Nebraska governor declares disaster as wildfire nears North Platte causes evacuation. Do you want to watch this video?
If you've been seriously injured,
No.
victory requires teamwork.
I don't want to watch
Together,
this.
we pursue justice.
Do you have to give me a commercial? Deline Parole says they're using the warmth of the lakes, heated water from nuclear plant releases to make lake effect snow, same as using the warmth of the Gulf water to make storms. Okay. The air is really dry in the Midwest? Yeah, okay, let's watch. Here we go. I mean, this is just a short.
In central Nebraska, Governor Jim Pillen declares a state disaster as a wildfire forces evacuations. This allows state funding to help crews fight it. The fire started near the Custer and Lincoln County lines today. It caused evacuations near North Platte. It also closed a stretch of Highway 42. The Nebraska National Guard will drop water on the fire tomorrow. They'll use 2 Black Hawk helicopters. There are no injuries at this point. It's not clear if any homes or businesses caught fire.
What is this all in line with? Basically, no, we're not going to watch any more videos, people. Wildfires in February, yeah, right? Yes, Nebraska should be covered in snow this time of year, exactly. It should be covered in snow and very cold in February, generally in Nebraska. But no, there's not. And could that be a reason why there's wildfires in February? I don't know. I think somebody's lighting the fires. No, I don't. I don't think that. It's dry in Missouri. Right. And then what do they have in both Nebraska and Missouri, Iowa? Those places, they have, fields and fields of. Well, there's a lot of agriculture there. There's also a lot of just grasses, wild grasses. George Soros did it, of course. He must have been doing it. He must have been doing a bad. He must have been doing a bad. Oh, my God. Well. Anyways, must have been doing the bad. All right. Global Solidarity says, not much roadkill in area tells me something is wrong. Deline Parole says Canada is still on fire from months ago. Canada. Yeah, it was fashionable to talk about fires being set in Canada. At one time. Quite fashionable. Must have been doing the bad. But there's still fires going, so I guess it doesn't really doesn't warrant any coverage now, right? John Glad says most problems are caused by solutions. I like that. That's good. That's good. For sure. Anyways, the Texas also had. Do we have this here? Texas also has some wildfires going. Urgent evacuations are underway as massive and dangerous wildfire rapidly spreads, with emergency sirens sound through multiple locations. Currently, urgent mandatory evacuations are underway as emergency sirens blare for residents across the Panhandle in Texas, as well as surrounding areas. Multiple departments are on the scene battling 4 significant and dangerous wildfires with 65-mile-per-hour winds, making containment extremely difficult. The fire is spreading rapidly, causing heavy flames and thick smoke visible for miles. All roads have been blocked. Police and emergency officials are urging everyone to leave, as this is a life-threatening situation. Dang. Or a ding-dang-do. This is a joke. Anyways. A ding-dang-do. Who was that? Dennis Leary? I think it's Dennis Leary. When he talks about how Elvis died. Anybody know that? Oh, what's the name of that album from Dennis Leary? Anybody know what I'm talking about? The one where he says, "Life sucks, get a helmet." Yeah, there are high winds there. Very high winds going on. Adding to the significance of the fire. That's a fire. So there you go. Scott Andrews says, I often wonder how long before wildfires like this will occur in Missouri. Probably not long. What's up, Rock Finners? I'm checking out you, Rock Finners. You, Rock Finners, you. I have a meme metaphor, says Denver. The bull is climate change, and humanity and civilization are the people in the ball suits. Okay. That's good. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Let's see. Why is my computer running so slow? I have an idea. I have an idea why. Here we go. Want to see the meme, if it'll actually even play? It don't play. Twitter don't play. Soon. Oh, here we go. This is good. That's hilarious. Why? Why do they go so high? I mean, it's like they. What the heck? Oh, are those things filled with like? Are they filled with like helium or something? It's like or are they popping the balloons? I mean, they're just like really flying up in the air. The hell's? I'm confused. It's funny though. That's hilarious. Can somebody explain to me what's going on in this video? I mean, why are they flying? They're like flying up in the air like there's no gravity. It's crazy. Anyways. Go, Bull, go. Yes, exactly. Stupid humans. It is funny, but I can't figure out, like, I'm trying to understand the physics of this. Like, it doesn't make it, the way they're flying off just doesn't make any sense. Anyways. Hilarities. Did you guys, so I put all the links in the Telegram eventually from the show yesterday. It took me like all day to do it. And I promised to put the links for this show in like right after the show. It's hard. There's a lot going on. Oh, well. Yeah. Anyway, so the Telegram, you can check out the links from the show in the Telegram after the show. When I really get it going, the links from the show will be in there before the show. So, and that'll be super cool. Obsolete Optics asked me yesterday why I didn't talk about Aaron Bushnell. I talked about Aaron Bushnell on Monday when it happened. You wonder if that's CGI? That's what that's kind of what I wonder too. It looks like the physics don't make any sense, so maybe it is CGI. Yeah, it makes no sense at all. There's so many things on the Twitters. The one that lands in the bleachers, yeah, I know. Denver, but there was no body. It was like just the balloon, but no body. So something about it isn't real to me. Serenity says saw first ticks a few days ago. First time seeing them in February. Yeah, so the weather is changing, right? The weather's changing. Yeah, so Obsolete Optics mentioned yesterday in the comments that I didn't talk about Aaron Bushnell. I talked about Aaron Bushnell on Monday when it happened. And I had a post yesterday for Aaron Bushnell, but I didn't make it to Aaron Bushnell yesterday. There were a lot of other things I was talking about. Not to say that it isn't important. I mean, I made the mistake of freaking watching the video of him lighting himself on fire. God dang it, man! I don't know why. I don't even know why I did that to myself. That was. I don't know. Don't watch the video of him lighting himself on fire. There are things that just come up on Twitter and it's like they just start auto-playing and all of a sudden you're just like watching something kind of horrified, but you can't stop it. And that's how I watched that video. But dang it. The fact that people are driven to do things like that by the actions of one country and this country as well. I mean, that's why he did it. Caitlin Johnson, he did it. Aaron Bushnell forced this to happen. He did something so jarring and impactful that the mass media would be forced to report the raw facts about it if they want to avoid internal conflict like CNN and NYT have been experiencing in recent weeks. Internal conflict. What's the internal conflict? What's the internal conflict? The internal conflict is Are we a news agency or are we stenographers for the state? Are we just straight up propagandists or are we going to actually tell people the truth? That's the conflict that these organizations are having because they're supposed to be news organizations. They are posturing, labeling, news is in their names, right? They're supposed to be news agencies, and they are oftentimes just doing straight up propaganda. And there's a lot of internal conflict, right? There are people that work for these organizations going, what are we doing? What's happening here? What's going on? I thought we were supposed to be reporting the news and not outright lying to people, which is why most people don't even watch these channels anymore. They don't watch them anymore because they know they're just straight up liars, straight up propagandists, just straight up stenographers for the state. And we've known this for years. It's one of the reasons why Trump got elected the first time. By just, coining the phrase fake news. And why, why Bernie Sanders was also so popular, right? Because they told the truth about things that people already understood. People already were like, yeah, these people are lying. These people are straight up lying. Right? But it hasn't, they actually, as people were consciously saying out loud, these people are liars. As people were doing that, as major candidates for the presidency were saying that out loud on microphones to rooms full of people, and people were like, "Yep, yeah, they sure are some lying SOBs." As people were saying that, they doubled down, right? Like at that time, when Trump won, they were like, "Well, Trump won because there was propaganda and fake news all over the internet, and people were sharing falsehoods and memes and stuff. That's why he got elected." No, no, you sick bastards. No, he got elected because you're a liar. He called you a liar, and everybody agreed with him. That's why he got elected. And you guys just doubled down on the lies. And so, how many years later is it? 8 years later? As they doubled down on the lies and they went full Russiagate and they went full on everything that we don't like is Putin and Russia and Trumper and MAGA. They just went, kept going. And the whole time everybody's going like, we can see you. We can see you. For 8 years, everybody's been going like, yeah, we see you, fool. We see you. You're not fooling anybody. Except for the people that are just like, what? You mean the things I watch on CNN aren't real? There's plenty of those people. But a lot more people understand it is a bunch of garbage. A bunch of people understand that. Whole lot of people understand that. And more people understand it. People understand it more than ever. Right now, it's just become like there's just a full on kind of dumpster fire of like, what are you guys doing? And that's causing internal conflict at these organizations who have been doubling down on propagandizing you for years, and people don't actually, even the people that work there are like, all right, okay, all right, Jesus Christ, what are we, like people that work there are like, all right, I'm just. Eventually, the rats flee the sinking ship. And that's why there's internal conflict at places like CNN and the New York Times. Because the rats are fleeing a sinking ship. And they're bleeding. They're bleeding viewers. They're bleeding money. They're probably bleeding advertising money, too. Nobody cares what you have to say anymore. So they're forced to tell you the truth, because if they don't tell you the truth, it's lights out. That's also the cause of the internal conflict. There's people that are like, hey, if we double down and keep on going with these lies, we're not going to have there's going to be no company anymore. There's going to be no CNN. There will be no New York Times, right? We're absolutely going to just shoot ourselves both kneecaps, and, might as well go for the head, right? Because we're done. They're being forced to tell the truth, right? And mostly around the whole Gaza thing. Because people at these companies are like, oh my God, we cannot keep going with this, right? Because there'll be 5 viewers. If we double down and lie about this, literally we'll be speaking to nobody at all, ever. Nobody will ever watch this channel again. Which actually should happen anyways. Whether they tell the truth or not, it should be lights out. I hope it's lights out for them. I wish, look, corporations are not people. Corporations are not people, even though legally they are recognized as people. But I wish absolute, utter, full-on failure for these people, right? For these corporations. All of them. All the ones that are doing people dirty. Not just the news organizations. All of them. I wish them collapse, failure, absolute ruin. And they deserve it. And the world will be a better place for them being gone. That's my position on that. And jobs to be damned. What about jobs? No, get another job. Do something else. I don't know. Grow a garden. Figure it out. Don't keep piling on the bullshit into the world. The world doesn't need these people. The world doesn't need these corporations or these people. RFK still is pro-Israel, though. Yes, he is. Yeah. Well, supposedly. Supposedly he's pro-Israel. Got to be pro-Israel unless you want to get, I don't know, double tapped or something. You got to be pro-Israel whether you want to or not, I think. I think that's the thing. Anyways, they were forced to report the raw facts about it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Aaron Bushnell's last words were just read live on CNN. Oh, my God. And, yeah.
We're learning new details today about a deadly outside the Israeli embassy in Washington. Authorities identified Aaron Bushnell as the person who, on Sunday, set himself on fire. The 25-year-old was an active duty member of the U.S. Air Force. CNN's Gabe Cohen joins us now with the details. And Gabe, this is something that he did in protest.
Yeah, that's correct. And we're learning much more about this 25-year-old active duty airman, Aaron Bushnell, as you mentioned. He's from San Antonio, Texas, and he live streamed his actions on Sunday in broad daylight on the streets of D.C. outside the Israeli embassy. We are not going to show that video. It is extremely graphic and disturbing. I have watched the video. I can tell you at the beginning, at the start of it, you can see Bushnell walking up to the embassy on the street in his military fatigues. He's speaking calmly to the camera. I want to read a portion of what he says. He said, quote, "I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it is not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class has decided will be normal." He then goes on to pour some sort of accelerant, it looks like, on his head out of a water bottle he was carrying. And then he lights himself on fire, Boris. And as the flames engulf him, you can hear him yelling, free Palestine, again and again, until finally he collapses. And that is when officers, you can see them race in, one of them with a fire extinguisher in their hands, trying to put out the flames. But it takes time. And as we have learned, Bushnell died in the hospital at some point later on. And look, it really speaks to the tensions that are continuing to escalate around the war in Gaza, not just across the world, but here in the United States. We saw a similar incident in December.
Yeah. Yeah, Deline, yeah. There was a cop, actually. You can hear in the video, there's a cop saying, "Get on the ground." I was like, dude, he's on fire. Get on the ground. The cop's like, "Get on the ground. Obey my orders. Stop resisting arrest." Like, the dude is on fire. Like, I don't know. Yep. Yeah, there was a cop pointing a gun at him, yelling at him to get on the ground. Ridiculous. When they should have been, they should have been jumping him with a blanket, right? Like, the cops should, or something, right? There should have been cops trying to stop put the fire out. That's what it should have happened right away. Not pointing a gun and get on the ground, you moron. The video is really horrifying. Yeah. Yeah.
When someone self-immolated, lit themselves on fire outside of the Israeli consulate in Atlanta. But this feels different. This is an active duty member of the military.
This is different? I mean, I guess so. But, I mean, somebody else self-immolated in Atlanta. I mean, it's different because there's an active duty of, I mean, it's horrific that this is happening, and it doesn't matter who's protesting. It doesn't matter whether it's a regular person or a military person. It doesn't matter. It's just a horrifying situation, and it's horrifying, so horrifying that 2 people now have lit themselves on fire in protest of this. 2 people. Anyways.
Himself to death on the streets of the nation's capital.
Gabe Cohen, thanks so much for the details.
Well, glad they actually spoke about it, and didn't try to down. The article that I read on Monday said a man lit himself on fire. We don't know why, in front of the Israeli embassy. Just a man lighting himself on fire. Geez, that's crazy. I wonder what it could be about. Could it be because he's protesting what's going on? Oh, he was a active military member protesting this, lighting himself on fire in protest of this. But like, the article that I read just tried to leave all of that out. They just tried to make it seem like somebody lit himself on fire. We don't know why. Whatever. Okay, you absolute pieces of garbage. You absolute lying, stinking pieces of garbage, that you would actually write an article like that. That people would publish an article like that. Yeah. Just makes you all kinds of angry, doesn't it? It makes me angry. Let's see. But at least, give it up for CNN telling the truth. Because they're kind of forced to at this point, because if they keep on denying the truth, they won't have a business left anymore. They've been trying, though. They've been trying to double down on propaganda for a long time. So we'll see. We'll see. It seems like the establishment has embraced telling the truth as an operational tactic anyways, right? Because all the Elon Musks and the Tucker Carlsons and the Jordan Petersons and the Joe Rogans, the new ops, the new alternative telling the truth ops are out there letting you know the truth is cool, right? Like now the truth is cool, guys. We're going to co-opt it just like we did the hippies in the 70s. And just like we did, everything else, punk rock and hip hop and everything else, right? We co-opted everything. Turned it into a commodity, like an empty commodity, right? Just a fashion, a style, a hairstyle, a piece of clothing. That's how co-opting works, right? And so now they're going to co-opt. Well, I mean, Trump is part of the. I think Trump is part of the co-option of that. Telling the truth is cool. We'll tell you the truth while we're doing the dirt. Tell you the truth while we're doing the dirt. Hey. What are we looking at here? Denver says, the president and current government are doing an extra good job when citizens and servicemen light themselves on fire in protest. Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, Elon Musk is about as dirty and as corporate and deep state, deep military industrial complex as you can get. So it's nice that they're speaking on the freedom of speech and the truths and stuff, but that's just the whole co-option plan. Going to get everybody onto these platforms. Here's a concept that people have put out, and I'm going to read something, or we're going to look at this article in the Atlantic about techno authoritarianism. Dan Watson says there's an easy way to tell which news outlets are propaganda-based. Any who see Trump as anything more than a scammer and corrupt businessman is obviously not a legitimate news source. Okay. Let's see. What was I going to say? So the co-option is to get you on all these platforms and like Rumble and Twitter, get you to speak freely about what you're feeling, what you're seeing and feeling. And here's what could be. Some people have suggested here's what could be the goocher. The goocher being, you talk about all the things, you're sharing your thoughts and your hopes and your dreams and your real feelings about what's going on, and these are just, I guess, pieces of evidence to use against you in the future, right? Like, hey, did you post this the other day? Did you post this 2 years ago? Was this you saying these things a couple years ago? Yeah, well, that's illegal now, and there's going to be a robot dog at your door to arrest you. So kiss your family goodbye. I don't know. Just saying. That, the current adoption of free speech eventually could be the noose that you hang yourself with later. It's an interesting idea. All right. Let's see. Denver says, did you guys know Fulton County, Georgia? What's going on in Fulton County, Georgia? The same county where the Fannie Willis debacle is happening is actually not in control of their own government right now. Fulton County? I mean, isn't that's Atlanta, right? Fulton County is Atlanta. A ransomware group tells Fulton County, Georgia to pay. What the hell? Officials in Fulton County, Georgia say they received a new deadline to pay a ransom after their first deadline passed. Oh, I think I might have heard something about this, but I didn't know it was in Atlanta. Okay. All right, well, let's look at this for a second. Real quick, y'all, before I go, but I'm not going to go right now. Before I read this, you can, if you like the show, being here every day, coming to you for free $99, you can support the show in many ways. The direct donate ways are probably the best ways, but you can also super chat, super ray, and all that kind of good stuff. Super ray is a tip on Rockfin. And super chat is a way to contribute on YouTube. Anyways, here's the direct donate ways. These are ways that are a little more direct to me. buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews, Cash App at Red Llama Music. You can Venmo me at Kevin Sandblum, PayPal me at paypal.me/Kevin Sandblum. You can Zelle me at kevinsandblum at protonmail.com. And many of you have all supported the show financially, and I appreciate you. And I didn't really see. Haven't checked out any coffees today yet. I'll do that later. Hold on. What is going on? So yeah, so I guess Fulton County, Georgia is being held ransom. Lockbit 3.0 is threatening to release sensitive information if county officials don't pay the ransom. The deadline for ransom payment was originally set for the morning of February 16th, but the date passed without consequence as Fulton County officials refused to comply with the group's demands. Fulton County officials said they have an incident response plan in the event the hacking group follows through on its threat and sensitive information or citizens' personal data is released. If we determine that people's personal information was involved in the incident, we will make all legally required notifications and provide them with the resources to help protect their personal information. Okay. Interesting. Well, what if this was turned on private citizens? And I think it has been already. Static? Hold on. Check. What if it has been, or I'm sure it has been, but so they're scooping up all your data and information like all the time. Your conversations, recording conversations on your phone. They record your internet browsing, your everything, right? And let's say untoward individuals get a hold of that information, get a hold of some of your private information and use it against you, or threaten to use it against you if you don't pay the money, or who's to say that the people that control all this information wouldn't just do that anyways, right? Because certainly intelligence agencies and corporations who scrape your data are totally just, always operating with the highest level of moral right, ethical standards, right? They're always doing the best thing for you and by you, right? So, no, they would never use the information they scrape from you against you, right? Anyways. All right, let's look at this before we get out of here. The rise of techno-authoritarianism from the Atlantic Silicon Valley has its own, hopefully they'll let me read this. Yeah, I think so. Ascendant political ideology. It's past time we call it what it is. Oh, you mean techno-fascism? Okay. If you had to capture Silicon, I mean, they're doing it anyway. You know, they're in league with the powers that be. They're doing the bad as quickly as they can. And trying to, you know, institute a, you know, a digital gulag as quickly as they can possibly do it, right? Because if they can surveil you 24/7 and track your movements and control your movements and control your everything you're doing, your banking, what you're buying, what you're capable of doing, you know, anyways, traveling. They can control all that stuff through like a social credit score, which is what they want to do. That would be where we're going. If you had to capture Silicon Valley's dominant ideology in a single anecdote, you might first look to Mark Zuckerberg sitting in the blue glow of his computer some 20 years ago chatting with a friend about his new website. The Facebook had given him access to reams of personal information about his fellow students. Zuckerberg says, yeah, so if you ever need info about anyone at Harvard, just ask. I have over 4,000 emails, pictures, addresses, SNS. Friend says, what? How'd you manage that one? Zuckerberg says, people just submitted it. I don't know why. They trust me. Dumb fucks. Wow. Okay, the conversation later revealed through leaked chat records was soon followed by another that was just as telling, if better mannered. At a now famous Christmas party in 2007, Zuckerberg first met Sheryl Sandberg, his eventual chief operating officer, who with Zuckerberg would transform the platform into a digital imperialist superpower. There, Zuckerberg, who in Facebook's early company over country, yeah, or company is country, explained to Sandberg that he wanted every American with an internet connection to have a Facebook account. For Sandberg, who once told a colleague that she'd been put on this planet to scale organizations, that turned out to be the perfect mission. Facebook, now Meta, has become an avatar of all that is wrong with Silicon Valley. Its self-interested role in spreading global disinformation is an ongoing crisis. Recall, too, the company's secret mood manipulation experiment in 2012, which deliberately tinkered with what users saw in their newsfeed in order to measure how Facebook could influence people's emotional states without their knowledge. Yeah. Hoodelale. Or its participation in inciting genocide in Myanmar in 2017, or its use as a clubhouse for planning and executing the January 6, 2021 insurrection. Say what? It was a clubhouse. In Facebook's early days, Zuckerberg listed revolutions among his interests. This was around the time that he had a business card printed with "I'm CEO, bitch." And yet, to a remarkable degree, Facebook's way of doing business remains the norm for the tech industry as a whole, even as other social platforms and technological developments eclipse Facebook in cultural relevance. The other social platforms being maybe TikTok and technological developments being artificial intelligence. Oh, hey. They're not letting me read this. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can get the rest of this. Twitter was used to call in airstrikes in Libya. Sounds about right. Sounds about right, suckers. All right. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can get it here. Are you going to let me? Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will. All right. Can you guys see this one? No. Hold on. Hold on one second. Let's see if we can get it here. Oh, dang. Come on, man. We're going to get there. Give me a second, guys. All right. Where were we? To worship at the altar of the megascale and to convince yourself that you should be the one making world historic decisions on behalf of a global citizenry that did not elect you and may not share your values or lack thereof. You have to dispense with numerous inconveniences, humility, and nuance among them. Many titans... Oh, crap. My call-in just failed. Sorry, guys. Shoot. Give me 1 second. My apologies. We'll see if the call-in stream comes back. Anyways, many titans of Silicon Valley have made these trade-offs repeatedly. YouTube owned by Google, Instagram owned by Meta, and Twitter, which Elon Musk insists on calling X, have been as damaging to individual rights. Sorry. Civil society and global democracy as Facebook was and is. Considering the way that generative AI is now being developed throughout, I mean, there's a little bit of a sleight of hand going on here. In all of these articles, hello, let's see if we can get this show back. Oh, all right. Sorry, Colin is just completely frozen. So my apologies. Okay. See if it'll come back. There's a bit of a sleight of hand going on with we still here? Okay. All right, Timothy, we're back. Thanks for hanging in there. There's a sleight of hand going on with this idea that tech companies or social media companies are allowing themselves to be used for they're allowing themselves to be used for as in partnership with the government for censoring people and for putting out propaganda, but they're doing this thing where they're trying to switch it around, saying that these guys are acting on their own, or they're selling their allegiances to the highest bidder, aka nefarious groups that might be backing, like, say, Donald Trump, or, allowing, right, that thing, that the statement about January 6th was an interesting one, because they're trying to insinuate that, like, oh, they just let these people right, do this thing, engage in this activity, when no, I think they were probably pretty on the side of the right. They weren't like, yeah, we're totally going to allow these people to organize, the January 6 people to organize themselves on Facebook. No. They regularly and routinely censor anything that the government doesn't like, and that, they're one of the biggest. Facebook is one of the worst for censoring people. They do that all the time. So the idea that they're just like, so, like, wishy-washy and, like, just all over the place, and don't have the proper rules in place, right? They're not, like, censoring the bad speech enough, right? That's what that kind of, that's why there's a sleight of hand going on, because they're trying to say, like, places like Twitter or Facebook are just not doing enough to keep people safe, when really all they're doing all the time is censoring people and algorithmically controlling people, and, right, they're data mining people. They're doing that all the time for the government, right? They're doing it all the time. They're not, just lackadaisically and who cares? In misinformation, yes, right? They're allowing the misinformation from these, so-called news sources. They're allowing the propaganda that they want disseminated, while blocking people who are actually speaking freely, right, and might be telling the truth. So there you go. They shouldn't be censoring free speech, and they shouldn't be propagandizing people, which is exactly what they're doing. They're doing both of those things, censoring free speech and propagandizing people. They shouldn't be doing either. Anyways, the behavior of these companies and the people who run them is often hypocritical, greedy, and status obsessed. But underlying these venalities is something more dangerous, a clear and coherent ideology that is seldom called out for what it is: authoritarian technocracy. As the most powerful companies in Silicon Valley have matured, this ideology has grown stronger, more self-righteous, more delusional, and in the face of rising criticism, more aggrieved. The new technocrats are ostentatious in their use of language that appeals to Enlightenment values, reason, progress, freedom, but in fact they are leading an anti-democratic, illiberal movement. Many of them profess unconditional support for free speech, but are vindictive towards those who say things that do not flatter them. They tend to hold eccentric. Here's the sleight of hand, I guess, to clarify it more, right? There's this thing where, and it's the manufacturing of consent, right? Where these politicians who, pose like they care about you and they care about the safety of the right, oh, we care about the safety of our citizens, and these tech companies are not doing enough to keep them safe, right? Which is absolute bullshit. Which all they're doing is censoring and screwing people over and propagandizing people, right? But it's this, it's this manufacturing, hot potato kind of thing. Well, you guys aren't doing enough to keep people safe. Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we'll try and do better and censor people more because you told us so. And what they want to do is they want to keep themselves safe from people speaking freely about what it is that's going on. That's the sleight of hand. Anyways, I don't need to explain that anymore. Many of them profess unconditional support for free speech, but are vindictive towards those who say things that do not flatter them. They tend to hold eccentric beliefs that technological progress of any kind is unreservedly and inherently good, that you should always build it simply because you can, that frictionless information flow is the highest value, regardless of the information's quality, that privacy is an archaic concept, that we should welcome one day or welcome the day when machine intelligence surpasses our own. And above all, that their power should be unconstrained. The systems they've built or are building to rewire communications, remake human social networks, insinuate artificial intelligence into daily life, and more, impose these beliefs on the population, which is neither consulted nor usually meaningfully informed. All this, and they still attempt to perpetrate the absurd myth that they are the swashbuckling underdogs. Comparisons between Silicon Valley and Wall Street or Washington, D.C. are commonplace, and you can see why. All are power centers and all are magnets for people whose ambition too often outstrips their humanity. But Silicon Valley's influence easily exceeds that of Wall Street and Washington. It is re-engineering society more profoundly than any other power center in any other era, at the behest of Wall Street and Washington, right? Any other era since perhaps the days of the New Deal. Many Americans fret, rightfully, about the rising authoritarianism among MAGA Republicans. What about the authoritarianism of the wily Democrats? It's hard to tell you, but if Joe Biden hasn't opened your eyes to how Democrats are way more fascist at this moment in time than Republicans, I don't know. I mean, Republicans are super fascist, so it's not saying much. I'm not saying like they're not. One is not and one is. I'm saying like they're neck and neck. Anyways. But let's blame Republicans because, of course, Democrats are cool people. They're cool. They're the coolest. They're just cool, and they just care about you. Huh. Take that. Huh, MAGA. Right. This is another little 3-card Monty sleight of hand trick right here, right? Oh, we don't know. They're not doing anything about the rising authoritarianism of MAGA Republicans. Nancy Pelosi says, but they risk ignoring another incident or ascendant force for illiberalism. Say what? The tantrum-prone and immensely powerful kings of tech. Shakespearean drama that unfolded late last year. But who are the tech guys all aligned with? They're not aligned with MAGA. They're not aligned with Trump. They're aligned with frickin' Biden. They're aligned with the Democrats. They're aligned with Hillary Clinton. They're aligned with Obama. They're not aligned with the Trumpers. Right? Not, at least not outwardly. Anyways. True. Salt Lakers, it's difficult to be neck and neck with Mitch McConnell. That's true. But Shakespearean drama that unfolded late last year at OpenAI underscores the extent to which the worst of Facebook's move fast and break things mentality has been internalized and celebrated in Silicon Valley. OpenAI was founded in 2015 as a nonprofit dedicated to bringing artificial intelligence, general intelligence, into the world. Really a nonprofit? Well, that must mean that they care about you in a way that would serve the public good. Yeah. Underlying its formation was the belief that the technology was too powerful and too dangerous to be developed with commercial motives alone. That's why it was started in Silicon Valley, right? Because, shouldn't be a commercial thing. But in 2019, as the technology began to startle even the people who were working on it, with the speed at which it was advancing, the company added a for-profit arm, of course they did, to raise more capital. Microsoft invested $1 billion. They're like, you know what? The funny thing is they make it seem like, wow, it's advancing so quickly, we don't know if we can control it. Let's get some money in here and see if it'll go better, right? Let's get some startup money going here. That'll surely make it go in the right direction because we're so startled at how fast it's advancing. Then many billions of dollars more came. Then this past fall, the company's CEO, Sam Altman, was fired, then quickly rehired in a whiplash spectacle that signaled a demolition of OpenAI's AI's previously established safeguards against putting company over country. Those who wanted Altman out reportedly believed that he was too heavily prioritizing the pace of development over safety. No. But Microsoft's response and offer to bring on Altman and anyone else from OpenAI to recreate his team there started a game of chicken that led to Altman's reinstatement. The whole incident was messy, and Altman may well be the right person for the job, but the message was clear. The pursuit of scale and profit won decisively because, of course, over safety concerns and public accountability, Silicon Valley still attracts many immensely talented people who strive to do good and who are working to realize the best possible version of more data-rich global. Shut up. Oh my God. It attracts just great people who love humanity. Yeah, and love life, and they want to do good by people. They're just trying to do good things for good people. Really? Even the most deleterious companies have built some wonderful tools, but these tools at scale are also systems of manipulation and control. They promise community, but now sow division. Claim to champion truth, but spread lies. Wrap themselves in concepts such as empowerment and liberty, but surveil us relentlessly. Yeah. The values that win out tend to be the ones that rob us of agency and keep us addicted to our feeds. Well, no. Duh. And then, and the whole thing about the AI is like, AI is going to make everything great. Even though everybody's completely aghast and frightened by how quickly it's advancing and what they think it might actually do. But of course, we're going to just keep on doing it because it's going to be great. Everybody's going to be happy with AI. The world is going to be a golden land, a golden paradise with AI. Sure. Denver Adway says the tech companies are staffed with CIA and FBI. Well, of course they are. Yeah, absolutely. They're staffed with, have direct connections to, have, back doors. There's back doors all over the place to the FBI and the CIA and all of these platforms. Yeah. They're a straight up pipeline, a straight pipeline from intelligence agencies and the government just straight to you. Like there's no... That's the other stupid thing about this article and every other article that talks about tech platforms is like they talk about them as these entities that are these unwieldy, just they're just doing their own thing and they're just mavericks and they're just out there just doing it so fast, and like who's going to control them? No, I mean they're absolutely like an arm of the government and of the military. Facebook was LifeLock, right? Was that LifeLog or LifeLock? LifeLock. Facebook actually was, there was a DARPA, there was a military platform, I think it was called LifeLog, that shut down the day that Facebook opened, right? Facebook is literally an extension of the military industrial complex, and so is Twitter, and so is all of them are. So it's not, they're talking about them as if they're out there just doing the damn thing, just, all free and stuff and, unconstrained, and who's going to rein them in? No, they're already there. Anyways, I just love to say the same thing over and over. I think that's entertaining, I guess. Anyways, a theoretical promise of AI is as hopeful as the promise of social media once was. And as dazzling as its most partisan architects project, AI really could cure numerous diseases. Okay. You think so? Could really transform scholarship and unearth lost knowledge because, we love knowledge so much that we're charging everybody, a couple $100,000 for it these days and won't ever let them get out of debt for gaining this knowledge. So that's how much we love knowledge, except that Silicon Valley, under the sway of its worst technocratic impulses, is following the playbook established in the mass scaling and monopolization of the social web. OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, and other corporations leading the way in AI development are not focusing on the areas of greatest public or epistemological need, and they are certainly not operating with any degree of transparency or caution. Instead, they are engaged in a race to build faster and maximize profit, and that at the behest of the intelligence agency and the defense industry. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be acting this way. This is by plan. This is not, it's a feature, not a bug. In a properly functioning world, I think this would be a project, should be a project of governments, Altman told. Well, yeah. My colleague Ross Anderson last year, referring to OpenAI's attempt to develop artificial, well, you would think it is. But anyways, Altman was going to keep building it himself anyways. Or as Zuckerberg put it to the New Yorker many years ago, isn't it like inevitable that would be a huge social network of people? If we didn't do this, someone else would have done it. Anyways. Let's see. I don't know how much more of this I'm going to read. The world Silicon Valley elites have brought into being is a world of reckless social engineering without consequence for its architects. Anyways, so, I mean, I don't know that I need to read any more of this. I think it's an interesting article. I will put the link in Telegram. In the Telegram, you guys can find the Telegram chat in the description box of whatever platform you're listening to. I'll link everything I covered today in the Telegram. Creative Experiment says Richard Feynman debunked AI and quantum computing 50 years ago with math. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. LifeLog, that's it. February 4th, 2004, Pentagon kills LifeLog project. But didn't Facebook open like the same day or the next day, right? Like Facebook started literally the next day. Whoa. Got something even better this time. Alrighty. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me every day on these wild and wacky interwebs. Thanks for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. We'll be back tomorrow at the regular time of 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tomorrow being Thursday. Appreciate y'all. And I will see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, peace.
Mm-hmm.